Now, moving on to our next set of speakers. In fact, we've got three speakers, Isabel, Timo, and Giovanni. And their talk is entitled Moving Towards a Public Procurement Data Space. Isabel da Rosa is the team leader for the Directorate-General for Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs of the European Commission. And Giovanni Paolo Sellitto is an officer and ICT engineer at the National Anticorruption Authority in Italy. And Timo Rantanen is a policy officer at the Finnish State Treasury. Welcome to you all.
Hi, welcome. I don't know why I cannot change my video so you can see me.
I'm sure we'll be able to see you very soon, Isabel. Hopefully.
Maybe the technical team can help me here.
I'm sure they're trying right now. But Isabel, do go ahead and introduce yourself, the team, as you wish. The floor is yours.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for the introduction, and also good afternoon to everybody. I will move straight directly to the story I want to share with you today by starting to say that every year over 250,000 public authorities in the EU spend around 14% of GDP, meaning around 2 trillion euros per year, on the purchase of services, works, and supplies. This activity is commonly dominated public procurement, and in this field, we have witnessed many changes in recent years, namely a sharp shift from paper-based process to more modern process based on digital tools. Indeed, digital procurement in Europe has increased significantly since 2016. One of the reasons behind this growth is the fact that we have in the current EU legal framework a set of mandatory milestones for specific phases of the life cycle. One of the relevant consequences of this transition is that we have more data on public procurement publicly available. But even more important, we have more structured data. With this in mind, the Commission decided to include a public procurement data initiative in the European data strategy from last year, aiming at increasing transparency, ensuring a wider uptake of sustainable procurement, boosting digital transformation in the public sector, moving to a data-driven policy, improving the monitoring of public procurement, and helping the recovery of the pandemic. But with more data available, we also got more challenges. Like, for example, we still have a low quality level of data publicly available. We have multiple data formats, a complex landscape for procurement for procedures below the EU thresholds, partial information in terms of life cycle, and many technological challenges, such as lack of interoperability. To address this challenge, the Commission is working on a public procurement data strategy. This strategy covers a core proposal for the creation of the public procurement data space based on the federated model, where TED data and data from the national databases in the EU can be integrated. The data space will be complemented by a set of analytic tools that will enable a deeper understanding of public procurement. The data strategy also provides a set of key enabling factors to improve the management of the procurement data, such as the use of identifiers, increase data validation mechanisms to improve data quality, or increase interoperability to aim for real-time information. The data strategy is critical for having more reliable information in public procurement in the future, and the data space will be the backbone for having an holistic view on the situation in the EU. But beyond the EU perspective, we have with us two senior experts to share their experience and views in two of the member states. The first is Timo Rantanen, Policy Officer at the Finnish State Treasury, and Giovanni Paolo Sellitto, Senior Office at the National Anticorruption Authority in Italy. And without further delays, dear Timo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Isabel, and thank you for the organization. No, well, I'm lost with words, for allowing us to talk about the importance of public procurement data. Well, as Isabel mentioned, the public procurement amounts to a significant proportion of public spending, thus having also significant savings potential in the EU countries. And I believe that we are all faced with in the future with budget cuttings in this post-corona era. And if and when the top-tier directors are making decisions on where to save money, personal costs seem to always be the easiest area to find savings. However, if we have 14% of the GDP in every country spent on public procurement, so we might find actually more savings there rather than just I'm trying to change the slide, but I can't, obviously. Rather than just the personnel cost savings. And unfortunately, in my view, the spending has the public procurement spending has not yet reached the attention it deserves. And coming back to the issue of public procurement data spaces. In Finland, the importance of government procurement spending was actually acknowledged around the same time as the Commission first introduced the idea of public procurement data space. And in July 2020, a law was passed according to which the State Treasury of Finland was to gather together the procurement data in addition to other government data as well, and provide it partly as an open data as well. There, of course, will be more detailed analytical tools which we will provide and provide government data for analyzing the public procurement and many other issues as well. But in Finland, what we have or are doing at the moment is related to, I don't know how to change the slide actually. Can you change the slide? Yeah, okay. So we are gathering together the budget data. We have a lot of data on projects. So projects which are include as well public procurement. We have contract notices which are sent to TED and national contract notices. We have e-tendering systems which have a lot of data on participation in public tenders. We have court cases on public procurement as well, and e-invoicing data where we actually started back in several years ago. Additionally, there are very many other data sources that we are gathering and have gathered together for the national data space. And if you move to the next slide, so we have accounting and bookkeeping, government real estate data, and general statistics. So in general, the power of data lies actually in putting it together. When we have data from several sources, we can actually provide analyses otherwise either difficult to provide or even impossible, and to vet and provide reliable analysis for leading with the data. So I think in my view, the leading with data is the most important thing here. We can provide the government more insights and assist them in making good decisions. And when the data is put together, we can also get more insights. For example, when we have the electronic invoicing data, we can show, instead of just estimated values on how much, for example, a project costs, we can also estimate how much it actually eventually came to cost. And when we have more eyes to view the data, we can actually as well get feedback on how to improve the data quality. And when we have more data, we actually get better insight. If and when we have access to the EU-wide data on companies participating in public procurement procedures in other EU member states, we could invite them to bid in our tendering procedures up here in the north, rather than just playing with our own companies. So I think this can actually increase the cross-border bidding, and also it is for us to have more new and innovative solutions and companies to bid in our public procurement procedures. Not just relying on our companies, but as well publish the notices and invite those companies to bid in our processes, procedures, rather than just relying on them to bid in. And in Finland, around 99% of companies are SMEs. So hence, instead of medium-sized companies, we are most interested in attracting small and micro companies, and also those innovative new companies to bid in our tendering procedures. Because Finland, in my view, is very innovation friendly country, and as well the municipalities and the government seeks for and actively seeks for these companies that are able to provide new and innovative solutions. And lastly, the access or open access to data. Of course, when we have more eyes to view the correctness of our data, we can also get feedback on whether there's something wrong. But we already have examples of new companies around the big data that we are gathering that are formed, new companies that didn't exist before. In the area of IE and machine learning, we have had new companies approaching us with new ideas on how to make a business with their data, with our data. And when we publish it freely and have an open access to it, they can develop their businesses further. So that's my view on open data, and I'll give the floor now to Gianpaolo in Italy to hear what the Italian plans on public procurement data actually are. Thank you.
Okay, I will be short on our open data portal. Here you will find the links to our open data and analytics portal on the slides if you are interested. Here I want to stress the importance of open data and structured data to make public procurement more transparent to citizens, non-governmental organizations, and to the academic sector. Open data empower them with assets to embrace an evidence-based approach that can help in setting a new way of policy co-creation, but also for the creation of social goods. Hence, they are not useful only for the public procurement sector, but also important for the next generation EU, and to have citizens engagement and a new approach to a new societal approach. Over the years, we discovered 2 points that are important when we move towards an European eProcurement data space made up from the integration of different data spaces, which are standardization and domain knowledge sharing. Recently, in collaboration with the Commission and ISA Squared, we set up a pilot project of an eProcurement data space on the big data test infrastructure. And there we adopted a data mesh architecture, and we learned about the importance of some instruments like the adoption of a common schema to improve interoperability, to smoothen the integration of data coming from different data spaces, be them private or public. And in a complex domain like eProcurement, It is also important the availability of shared knowledge in the form of an ontology, in addition to the bare rough open data. A formal tool and actionable like an ontology can be useful also for data integration. We used it to map between different data schemas or with the reference schema. That was the one of the eForms, which is a common schema at the EU level. We are now developing a new procurement ontology with the Commission, with the Publication Office. If you want to join the group, you can. So it is up to you to join the challenge. That's all on my side.
Thank you all so much for the three of you coming together to give that presentation. And Isabel, we can actually see you now. So I think for our audience, it would be lovely to actually see you for real if the graphics, the tech team can change. So we can see Isabel's smiling face, at least I can. I'm not, there we are. Wonderful. Well, since we're slightly over time, I don't want to ask you questions, but obviously anybody can ask you questions directly and continue to network with you. It was very clear, and the only reason I'm being very strict on time is because I'm running in parallel with my two colleagues in the other thematic sections. So thank you, three of you, for the organization, Timo. The organization of this wonderful collaborative talk. Thank you all.